Welcome to Mother-Daughter Projects. I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki.
And today we're going to share our go-to wet and forget no scrub outdoor products.
Now, wet and forget products are for those people who do not like to clean. So, as we all know, that has Steph's name all over it.
And Mom.
No, I don't. Well, maybe, okay.
So we have used wet and forget products for over 7 years, and here's a variety of products that we have shared in previous videos. But today we're going to be talking about these two because they're our go-to.
We've done lots of wet and forget videos over the years, including one when they had their recall. And the company actually contacted us about that, and we will share what they had to say at the end of this video.
But first, how does wet and forget work?
Wet and Forget's bleach-free formula goes to work on contact. The elements, wind and rain, gently remove stains over time. Green stains generally clean up within a few weeks. Black stains can take several months. Long, established stains may take 6 to 12 months. A second application 1 to 2 months after the first will help with stubborn stains. Remember, be patient, good things take time. Most surfaces stay clean 1+ years.
Our first favorite outdoor product is the Wet and Forget Outdoor Ready to Use. And we like this because it's already pre-mixed inside of here, so you just grab the nozzle and you're ready to go. And this works great for smaller projects.
To attach the sprayer nozzle, remove the sprayer from the bottle and extend the hose from inside the sprayer and remove the sticker and the flip cap. Then firmly insert the hose tip into the top of the bottle. On the nozzle there's an X, which is off, and as you turn the nozzle, one side is a narrow spray pattern and the other is a wider spray. Make sure you always turn it off when not in use. First, I'm going to spray these bricks around my fire pit. This is a good option as I need it to spray in a very specific location with a little overspray. Here you can see there's definitely some algae growth, and after you can see it's cleaned up after 2 rains. Here again you can see a lot of algae, but it's mostly gone after 2 rains, but it could also benefit from another coat of wet and forget. This rock was starting to turn green, and you can see it cleaned up with wet and forget. It worked well with the rocks on the other side as well. This particular downspout gets a lot of algae growth on it, and after 1 spray and 2 rains, you can see it's already clean, besides the fact that it needs to be repainted in some areas, which I can do now that it's clean. The splash guard on this downspout also had some green growth, but after a spray and 2 rains, it's almost all clean. We built this PVC privacy screen 5 years ago, and it's held up really well besides getting some algae growth on it, but with regular cleaning with wet and forget, you can see that growth is gone.
Next up, for larger jobs, is the Wet and Forget Outdoor Hose End. And all you need to do with this is connect your hose and spray, and you're ready to go.
Here I'm attaching the hose, making sure I thread it properly with the nozzle. The hose end of the nozzle can turn independently of the bottle when you're attaching. It also includes 2 spray tips. One is the fan tip, which dispenses large amounts of product for faster application, and the other is the jet tip, which reaches areas up to 30 feet. Here I'm using the fan tip for the bottom half of my siding, which if you look closely you can see what parts have been sprayed and which parts are still dry. I switched to the jet tip to get the taller parts of my siding. Now Wet and Forget can be used on virtually any outdoor surface. Here's a list from Wet and Forget's website. You can see one of the materials it can clean is asphalt roof shingles. We've never tried cleaning our roofs before, but I decided to try it for this video. First I tried using the jet tip from the ground, but I found it didn't really get very far onto the roof. After getting on a ladder, it did reach further, but it didn't reach all areas of the roof. I think for this to be most effective, you need to be on the roof to use this product, which is not recommended, and ultimately if I wanted to clean my roof I'd probably hire a soft wash company to clean it for me. You can see this is my roof before, and this is my roof after 2 rains, which you can still see significant dirt, but maybe it's a little bit lighter where the Wet and Forget was sprayed. But again, I don't think it was worth the effort. We've previously shared about Wet and Forget Outdoor Concentrate, which gives the same results as these products, but you have to mix Wet and Forget with the correct amount of water, plus you need a separate sprayer to use this product. Which is why the hose end and the ready-to-use sprayer are our go-to products as they require less setup to use.
What we learned. Now we've been using Wet Forget for over 7 years, and we have some tips that we've learned along the way. Now, number one is, how long does this last? Now, we mentioned that Wet Forget says it can last to a year or more, depending on, the area. And I will say for me, probably about a year. I don't have a regular schedule of when I spray Wet Forget. I will say I forget about it until I actually see some dirt, and then I'm like, oh, I should probably spray Wet and Forget. So I would say it probably does last about a year. I do have some areas that I get a little bit more gunky quickly, and I probably just need to spray them, but I forget about it a lot.
One thing you should know about these two outdoor products is if you're going to be spraying around plants, you should wet those down first, do the spraying, and then go back and wet them again because it could damage your plants.
Now, the first time we used the hose in Wet and Forget, we actually were not super impressed with the product. After I sprayed up my whole house down, there was still a ton of product left in the bottle, so I thought, wow, it goes a long way. But I realized later on that I did it wrong. So this is the way you use it so you don't end up wasting your time like I did. So on the nozzle itself, it twists, and first it's going to say off, and then it's going to have 4 different settings for water. And those are just different patterns of how much water will come out of the bottle. And you have to keep turning all the way to the word on. And the word on is when product actually starts coming out. So you want to make sure, I would say before you actually start using it, practice that, turn the nozzle so you can kind of get a feel for what that looks like. We've also learned it is very important to always use safety when using these products. They are chemicals, they're not harsh chemicals, but they're chemicals. So you want to protect your eyes, your nose, and your skin. You can see here, I actually usually wear a hat, have my hair back, have that protection on, and I usually will wear something covering my arms and legs to make sure I don't get product on me. It is liquid, and when you're outside, it can be windy, and so that liquid can really get everywhere. So just make sure you protect yourself anytime you're using any kind of chemical, especially Wet and Forget.
All chemicals come with an SDS sheet, which is nothing more than safety information, and you need to familiarize yourself with that in case of accident. And the last time I used this, I did accidentally get it in my eyes, and I had to scramble to find, I hadn't read that ahead of time and didn't have my goggles on, so I had to scramble to find what I needed to do to take care of that.
So we actually made a video talking about that when Wet and Forget had the recall. And after we published our video about the Wet and Forget recall and how Mom got the product in her eye, Wet and Forget actually contacted us to make sure everything was okay, and we actually had a nice long conversation about the product because we, as we mentioned, have been using it for 7 years. And they explained to us that the nozzle that was being recalled, they basically added a new function where there's this little circle piece that holds the nozzle in place for extra security. So when you get your Wet and Forget product hose in, you'll probably notice a little circle, and that is where they've added that extra protection for the nozzle. So it's great to see a company that is making sure that customer safety is top priority. And like I said, they were really, really nice to talk to, and to be able to kind of even tell them in person over the phone how much we have enjoyed the product. Now, Wet and Forget did ask us on that call if there was any product we'd like to try. So they did send us some product, but most of the product that we have purchased ourselves, and they have never once asked us to say anything specific about the company. Everything that we ever share in these videos is straight from what our experience is.
Now, our go-to place to purchase this product is Costco. So if you have a Costco membership, it's worth going and checking it out and see if they have it in stock. If they don't have it year-round, so when you see it, buy it, and if it's on sale, buy 2.
So thanks for joining, and if you use Wet and Forget, let us know in the comments. If you're going to use Wet and Forget, let us know that as well. And I'll have a link to the playlist of all the videos we've done previously about the products. All right, well, thanks for joining. If you want to see more projects from us, be sure to visit us at motherdaughterprojects.com and subscribe right here on YouTube. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter, where we send that out once a week, free newsletter with all our latest projects.